Carries on.
And folks, this Love the Afrobeat Music Talk Radio, your number one African Caribbean online radio. My name is DJ TYB, the place to be. We have a very special show for you today. And the show that we are going to be having a conversation with a lot of, so many people are enjoying the spring. And we are also going to be having a conversation with an artist manager. And then this is exactly what we do best on Love the Afrobeat Music Talk Radio. And we are so excited. Petra and myself are so excited to be a part of this journey where we are seeking folks to ensure that, we tell our stories. Because we are Africans, and Africans tell their stories best if we stick together. My name is DJ TYB, the place to be. And Petra is with me right now. And Petra, how you doing?
Hey TYB, I'm fantastic. Hey Love Bay family.
Yes. They are excited. I'm excited to see you.
I'm happy to be here too.
Oh yes. I mean, we are getting used to this social media stuff.
Yeah. And actually being on camera. I got to make sure I got my face ready and I'm all camera ready, all that good stuff.
Yeah. It's so strange, that we used to come off and then do the program hiding behind the cameras and then saying anything that we want. But we don't have the privilege anymore.
I know. Once they see our face once, they want to see it again. So we just got to keep it up, keep it going.
That's right. I used to be camera shy.
You know.
Oh yes.
You're a Juno Award winner. You can be shy.
Oh yes. As an artist, I'm going to tell listeners and those who are viewing us for the first time, anytime I walk on stage to perform, my first 5 minutes is critical. Oh yes. I don't know. I get so scared for some reason. I get so scared.
What do you get? You, TYB, what are you afraid of?
Yes. I always think about making mistakes and doing something, if you're in the public eye, for instance, oh man, he was singing out of key. He was doing this and that. So sometimes but after the 5th minute, oh yes, if nothing happens, that's great for me. So how was your week? Tell us about it.
I'm still getting ready. No, my week was really good. My week is pretty good. Wednesday, because I'm also affiliated with another radio station, Roots Reggae Radio. So big of the Roots Reggae Radio family. They actually put on a concert with the reggae legend Maccabee.
Ooh.
So he flew in all the way from the UK, and it was a phenomenal event. Like for a Wednesday night, it was like ram-packed. Like at least 150 people were in there,
Ooh.
It was at Adelaide Hall downtown, and it was the strangest of days, because in that one day it was like sunny, rainy, it snowed, and it was like a crazy wind all before the concert, and it was at 7:00, So it was kind of crazy. And also, anyone that knows me, I also do printing. So Fearless Crown Printing, you can check us out on Instagram at Fearless Crown Printing. That's the logo right there, the crown, representing Fearless Crown. And I made the t-shirt for the radio station, so it was really great. We sold off almost all of our t-shirts, and it was a really amazing event. Like so many people came out, like it was really great. And I got to meet Maccabee as well, and me and Maccabee are actually on a rhythm together from Z to the Z record out of Paris. So if you could go to Spotify and check out my song Love Over Fear, that's the Wake the Town rhythm. Maccabee is also on the same Wake the Town rhythm as well. So
yes, I saw you I think you took a picture with him, right?
Yeah, if you could check out my
Oh,
Instagram, my Petra's
yeah,
music, you can
that's right.
see me
That's
and
right.
Maccabee, so
Yeah, yeah.
it
Awesome,
was
awesome.
great.
So how's the business going? Because you are an entrepreneur, you are a superstar, you are everything. How's the business?
Yeah, the businesses are going really great, So I've been busy all this week with printing and also with my social media marketing agency. So I graduated last year in digital marketing, and I'm the CEO of PKG Digital Marketing.
Excuse
And
me.
yes, I
Excuse
am.
me.
Yes, I am. Thank you. But I'm really excited because even with the printing, it allows me to kind of combine my businesses together. So it's PKG Digital Marketing and Business Solutions, because I also have web design, graphic design, because I do have a team, and as well as also printing as well, flyers, merchandise, banners. So we do a lot of different things, just pretty much to be a one-stop shop for businesses.
You see, this is one thing that that I admire about you, and also about how everything is changing. Everything
Mm-hmm.
is changing in the sense that it used to be that women were at the beck and call of the business types and stuff like that. Even in the industry that we find
Mm-hmm.
ourselves in, it was like men dominated and stuff like that. But now a lot of women who are in this industry, in the entertainment industry, are asserting themselves um, I mean, towards the empowerment of women.
Mm-hmm.
And I have seen the trend. I've seen so many things going on um, around us right now. Can you talk a little bit about that? I've seen that, and I admire you for what you're doing in terms of, you're not sitting back for somebody to say, hey, you know what? Can you come and sing? Can you come and, some things like that. But that assertiveness is on the rise. That's what That's why I'm getting to.
Yeah, most definitely. And I totally agree with you. And I think it's because things of time that have changed, especially with the rise of social media, is giving people a platform and a voice that they never really had before. Like in the past, if you wanted to do your own show, you'd have to be connected to a studio, you'd have the money and the funding. Now all you need is a cell phone. All
That's
you need
it.
is a cell phone, internet connection, and boom,
That's it.
you have your platform on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, like LinkedIn, and there's so many platforms available, So I think that being the case is giving women the opportunity to be able to highlight their work and highlight their craft to audiences globally. That's one of the beautiful things about social media and why I love digital marketing, because it connects you like a click of a button. You can be connected to Africa, Brazil, America, England in just a click of a button. And there's people that you would probably never get a chance to meet in person. Now that you're in front of those people, you're connected to those people, which could even lead to them going to those places also. So I think it's definitely giving women that empowerment to know that, what, you can do a lot more with less, you know? So and I see it just increasing even more and more. There's also other things I think are attributed to as well, because I feel like the role of women has changed in society. Because I mean, the fact that we're kind of becoming established on a more of an even playing field, I feel like some women are kind of just a bit more focused on establishing themselves career wise before establishing a family. I think like the family dynamic was a lot more prevalent and more focused in the past, whereby now I feel like a lot of women are more focused on establishing them first before having a family. So I mean, with that regard, I mean, I feel like if you can balance the two, it's a blessing, because I feel like to kind of prolong and it's only my opinion, to prolong starting a family, I mean, you're missing out on something so beautiful. I'm a mom, and trust me, I love being a mom. It's not easy balancing a career and having a family, but it is worth it. So that'll be my
Yeah,
take on the matter.
yeah. Balancing. Yeah, I mean, even being single alone, and then with this world that we live in right now with all these kind of, confusion and, premature deaths and, and all these kind
Mm,
of sort of distractions and all these kinds of tensions, if I can put it that way. You
yeah.
know, if you're a mother in this industry or you're doing your own business, right? Right now you are wearing two hats or even three hats, right?
Yeah, much
That's
more.
right. So how many women are doing that? And I know a lot of women are doing it. A lot of
Hmm.
women are doing it, and
Yeah.
um, even sticking with our industry. Look at Rihanna. Rihanna had to take some time off,
Hmm.
build her empire,
Yep.
come back, and then she's still standing. No matter how people are trying to cut her down, I mean, during the Super Bowl thing. We don't give a damn about that, right? Because as a pregnant woman, she was able to come and do what she did.
Oh my gosh, I was blown away by that.
That's
To be
right.
pregnant and to perform at the Super Bowl, she empowered so many women.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
honestly, I'm scared of heights, and you did that pregnant, Riri. You go, girl. That's all I can say.
At the end of the day, the distractors, the detractors were trying to mow her down. But you know what? These are some of the things. This has been very prevalent in this industry. Just discouraging one or discouraging women from
Hmm.
aspiring to certain roles. But I think the role is changing, and why it is right now. You alluded to the fact that we are now using our cell phones. I can use my cell phone to write music, to edit, to do so many things with it. So we are not beholden to the big boys, so to speak,
Exactly.
who were controlling everything that came out of it. When we had um, Mr. Watkins on the program, a couple of weeks ago, let me say a month ago, he was telling us how people were suckered into it, and then now you see that this musician has risen to the top, and they are doing stuff, but all of a sudden, now they are poor because there are so many things behind the scenes, borrowing money, having to pay the money back, and there's so many things that is beholding within our industry. But still, going back to the women, I think women have made strides in our industry. What do you think are some of? I'm not putting you on the hot seat.
Yeah, this sea is kind of hot right now. I'm burning
Yeah.
up. I'm just kidding. Ask away, TYB.
Yeah. What do you think are some of the attributes of this, and how do you see this expanding? Because if I look at Trinisha Brown was on this program a couple of
Hmm.
weeks ago, and if I follow her, and I've been following her, she has taken a page from your book. She's constantly, doing her stuff, putting her music there, doing
Hmm.
all sort of things and stuff like that. People have been, you know, communicating with her left, right, and center. I
Nice.
think that is exactly what we're talking about. How do you think? What do you think has been that force behind this, and how do you see it going? And because to me, I think it's a revolution.
Most definitely. Well, I think the reason behind it is the fact that women now have a lot more options. I think having options allows you to do, as I said, to do more with less and with what you have available to you. So as I said, social media is an outlet, the internet, also the fact that even in society, I think women have shown themselves to be making huge strides, in not in just music, in business. Like for example, I'll use Rihanna for example as well. Rihanna, she started off as just an artist, but when she started her Fenty line and her Fenty beauty line, people all of a sudden looked to Rihanna in a whole new light, and then she became a billionaire with that business. So now it's like, wow, she started off as one thing, but we've seen her develop into something else, and now she's established herself in that area, and she's successful. So I think seeing the examples of lots of other women doing it and being successful, it has empowered so many more women all over the world. Now, the varying degrees of how successful each woman is going to be dependent upon each person. However, just having a few examples has empowered the rest of us, you know. And I think it's going to continue. I think it's going to continue well on to the next generations from now. And yeah, I'm really excited for the future. I mean, for me personally, everybody has their reason as to why, you know. My why is definitely my son, my family, you know, and also myself wanting my life to, when I look back, when I'm an old lady, I want to look back and know that I did something with my life, you know, that I have no regrets. And like, you know, like it counted for something. And I feel like a lot of women also feel the same way. I think we want to be seen as more than just being like having being mothers and just being in the home, or more than just the traditional roles that society is kind of placed us in. And the fact that we have the ability to do so much more, I think we're just taking the opportunity, you know.
Yeah, I agree, and it seems I'm so delighted with respect to that movement. Now let's turn our attention to the fact that after COVID, now it seems the entertainment industry is opening up. There's a
Hmm.
lot of festivals. There's a lot of things going on and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Um,
most definitely.
yeah, how do you see um, the advantages? Was it advantageous? No, let me rephrase it so that I don't get somebody clobbering me. How do you see? Do you think the pandemic has helped um, re-energize artists generally worldwide? Because I think I'm looking at it from the angle that, remember when we had Conscience on this station, I mean on this program, he said he wrote about 70 songs during the
I remember.
strike. Do you
Hmm.
think it has revolutionized or it has re-energized the industry, or a lot of people have written so many songs during the pandemic, during that pause, and that there's going to be a glut of music in the system? Because
Hmm.
a lot of people have written right now. A lot of, if you ask so many of our friends, oh, I'm in the studio, I'm in the studio, I'm in the studio, I'm in the studio. So,
Yeah, yeah,
do
yeah.
you think there's going to be a glut of music within the system, and how is it going to affect the quality? Because everybody wants to put their music out. I can see right
Hmm.
now.
Yeah,
What's your
yeah.
take on it?
Well, when I think about COVID, and it's so crazy because you think about COVID and it's just like a passing ship in the night. Like it came and it
Mm,
went, you know? But when it was here is the most traumatic thing the entire world has ever experienced, especially the music industry, especially those artists that rely on touring.
mhm.
Our industry, I think, was hit one of the hardest because our industry is performing, engaging with people. So I think if you didn't have a lot of material at that time, I think people use that opportunity just to write because they didn't know what to do, you know, and especially with with musicians, especially if you're a songwriter, that's how we express ourselves. That's how we console ourselves. That's like music is our therapy, you know. So imagine you're in a situation now where you're unsure, you're scared, full of fear. How are you gonna soothe yourself? If you're a songwriter, you're gonna write, you know. So I feel like in that time period, a lot of people took advantage of writing songs. Like I wrote songs during COVID, "Love Over Fear." I wrote "Now Is the Time," you know. But yeah, I didn't do 70 songs like Conscience, but I think it's really amazing, you know. But I feel like yeah, that period, as long as you use that wisely, it is something that is going to be beneficial for the industry right now. You know, I feel like there's going to be a lot of brand new music coming out, lots of new sounds. And yeah, it's going to be really great for the market. Like if you're like Conscious and you wrote 70 songs, you have a good couple of albums there that's gonna last you for at least a few years. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So
Back in the day, we recorded albums. But this,
yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember.
you just have to record so many, and then maybe one will be a hit. So
Hmm.
if you're a consumer and then you go and buy an album, sometimes it's only one track that you like.
It's true. It's true.
So what about the seven?
Yeah, they're like they're place warmers, you know? They're just to warm you up for the good song.
Yeah, yeah. I remember reading, was it sometime last year, there was an artist who became um, an evangelist.
Oh.
So yes, he was one. He was one of the top rap artists from Ghana, and he became um, an evangelist. That's his own
Okay.
church and stuff like that.
Nice.
And then he turns around. That's very controversial. He turns around and say that well, he's sorry that he put out those records or those
Oh.
albums, and that if anything at all, anybody who bought his album should destroy them.
Wow. That's crazy.
That's crazy. And
Mm.
people started asking, so, okay, sure, we hear you. We hear you. You want me to destroy an album that I use my money to buy? So if you want me to do that,
Mm-hmm.
then you pay me
Mm.
for the album, the money that I used in buying the album. You know how many people wanted their money back?
Wow.
So he had to back off.
Mm.
But this is just to say that, like, he was such a great artist. But the fact of the matter is that what I'm looking at is that because of the hurry to get the music out,
Mm-hmm.
quality may suffer.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I totally agree with you in that regard.
Yeah, quality may suffer. But then it is there. If you want it, you take it. Having said that, folks, we are in conversation with ourselves right now today. This is Highway 6 to Africa, coming your way from Love the Afrobeat Music Talk Radio. And it's 24 minutes past 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this beautiful Saturday in Toronto, where the temperature is plus 14 degrees
Mm-hmm.
Celsius. Oh, yes, it's a very
I
beautiful.
love it.
Yes. I love it, but I'm not counting my stars by going to wash my car because I have promised myself to wash
Mm-hmm.
my car in May.
Yes. I agree with you.
Yes.
They said it's gonna rain again soon, so
That's right. Oh, my winter is not gone. But you know what? That's just about that, folks. Now let's look at. I was talking to somebody, and the person said that he's going to release an album. And if he's going to release an album, um, he's going to release it in the United States.
mm-hmm.
And he is scared that he's not going to be able to make it because gospel music is now taking over in the United States.
Wow. As he should. I'm a gospel music fan.
That's right. I'm a gospel music fan myself. But you know what? I told him not to despair because there are two different genres of music. There are people who follow gospel music, others follow whatever they want to be following. And no, I've given him that encouragement not to despair and to move ahead with it. Now we have Paris in the house, the AP movement, man. Yes, folks, we are going to have a conversation with Paris, an artist, manager from the AP movement. And this is the first time actually we've been communicating. But hey, he's a friend of this radio station and a manager of Big Clutch. Petra, you remember we had Big Clutch here the other time.
Yes, I remember. She's an amazing artist. It was so great to have a
Amazing
conversation with her.
artist. Amazing artist.
Yeah.
And here we are going to be having a conversation with Paris. Paris, how are you doing?
Doing good, doing good. Good afternoon, everybody. How you guys doing?
Great. How are you?
Yeah, we are doing great.
Okay. I'm doing good, doing good. A little jet lag. I just came off the plane a couple hours ago. But yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
Yes. I understand now. Yeah, you are continuing your good work within the community, not
Yes.
only with respect to music, but also with respect to your other side of the activity. And I will say, enlighten us on the trip. And we know you went and did something great, 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 great. So please
Yes, definitely.
enlighten us. I know you are jet lagged,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it comes within the territory, you know. You know, the
Definitely,
job
definitely.
continues 24 hours. So yeah, the
A
floor
hundred
is yours,
percent,
please.
a hundred
Yes,
percent.
yes.
So I just came back from a Team Canada training camp, and I am a professional athlete for Team Canada, and I'm a guide runner, international guide runner. So what I do is my athlete that I'm a tether to at the start of the finish line and the start of the starting line, he's blind. So his category is T11, meaning he's visually blind. So what happens is in the beginning of the race, we're tethered. We're two fingers at the starting line, and when they say, "On your mark, get set, go," we raise other people that are tethered as well in a group as well. About three people to four could be in a race at a time, and
Wow.
I guide him from start to finish. So yeah, that's what we're doing. We training. We have the World Championships in Paris coming up in July, so we're just training, make sure we're fit and ready to go and bring the medal back home for Canada.
Mm. Now tell me about
Nice.
it. Do you?
Thanks.
Well, you say you're third, right? Are they starting line or are they finishing line?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, so we're tethered. Yeah, so it's a tether strap,
Mhm.
about a few inches, and we connect it to our two fingers. And yeah, we have to left, right has to be everything has to be in sync. And just
Mm.
before the finish line, he has to dive forward because if I cross first, then we're disqualified.
Oh,
Wow.
So yeah, so that's how it is. We went to the Canadian Championships. That was in August, and we placed first place. So we're Canadian champions. And then after that, now, thank you. So after that, now we just started to train hard and start doing more races, and now run Team Canada. So now we got to represent Canada and just keep racing. So we were in Dubai 5 weeks ago,
ooh,
and we were there for training, and we had a competition as well. So yeah, I did good. And right now we are sixth in the world.
wow,
Yeah,
awesome,
yeah, yeah,
awesome,
yeah.
awesome,
Thank you, thank you,
awesome.
Congratulations.
thank you, thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
And how many people are in the team? Like, how many athletes do you train?
Let's see here. There's a lot. I would say like on Team Canada alone, it's probably like over 100. So,
Ooh,
but yeah. So I have a coach that trains me and trains the athlete that I run with as well, and that's a Canadian coach. So yeah, we train 5 times a week. Um, yeah, just for 4 to 5 hours. Yeah, it's intense. Yeah, it's intense. It's
wow,
intense. Definitely.
oh, that's amazing. This is the first time I know. I've I've seen them during the Paralympics,
Yeah.
and I didn't know that you were third. So, are you allowed to pull them to for them to get advantage or something?
No, we can't pull. We just got to be in sync the whole time. Yeah, as much as
Yeah.
possible. Yeah, yeah. You can't really,
Come
can't
on, let's
really pull.
go.
That's
No,
great.
we can't. No, we
Oh,
can't do that. We can't do that. But it's good
awesome.
though. It's hard, definitely hard, but it's
Yes.
definitely rewarding. I used to run track and field a long time ago,
Oh,
and this way of running track and field is a lot better because now it's a team sport.
wow.
So he relies on me, and I rely on him, and we just race to the finish line. So
Okay.
it's really good.
The 100 meters, or does he do 100 meters or
Yeah.
100
Yeah, we
meters?
do 100 meters. Yeah. We used to do 200 meters, but they took that event out for his category. So now it's just 100 meters.
Oh, okay. Oh, awesome.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Number
Definitely.
six in the
Definitely.
world. Awesome. So we have a coach here. You know, Petra, you've got a coach here. Who's speaking to a coach? A coach. A national coach, man. National coach.
Love
more,
that.
Yeah.
more athlete, but yeah, I do a little bit, of coaching, but yeah, more athlete, and yeah, and of course got the music side as well, and yeah, so doing a lot.
Yeah. We'll come to that.
Yeah, I wanted
Petra.
to ask you, Paris. So, how
Yeah.
did you actually get into becoming a running guide?
So I used to run track and field about maybe like 15 years ago for the same track and field club,
Mm-hmm.
and His name is George. So George, he actually moved from Ghana when he was around maybe 12 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So and then he moved to Canada, and so then he's been doing track and field for a while too as well. And he had a whole bunch of guides, but those guides kind of fell off. So
Okay.
he didn't have a guide for a while. So my coach called me and says, you know what, you're the same height. I believe you guys had the same speed. So please, if you don't mind, I do need help. He said I do need help guiding. So I said, you know what, I'll try it. And I've been doing it for about a year now.
Oh,
And yeah, we haven't lost the race. We won the provincials, Ontario's. We won the Parasports in Mississauga. We won nationals in Vancouver. So
wow.
yeah, we just and now yeah now we're certified. So
Awesome.
really good.
Fantastic. I love it. So I wanted to
Thank you,
also,
thank you.
you're welcome. So yeah, I want to also ask you, so how do you balance like this amazing lifestyle of being a running guide and traveling all over the world with managing Big Clutch? Like how do you manage to balance, both? Because they both require a lot of what's the
Atten-
word? Like
attention.
yeah, attention and like
Yeah, no, definitely, definitely.
dedication.
I'm glued to my phone all the time. So yeah, you just have to be you just have to be considerate of people's time as well,
Mhm.
and pay attention to people, but also let them know like what they're supposed to do right ahead of time, so they can
Yeah, yeah.
continue on their journey. And while they're on their journey, I pop in and out to make sure that they're on track as well. So yeah, it's a bunch of artists. But yeah, Big Clutch is definitely focused, definitely making music, definitely just wants to keep getting better, sharpening her tools, keep being creative. So that's just really good. And she works really hard. So when they work really hard, you just your work is not it's not so much impactful. You just kind of like make sure they're kind of good to go on the same path. But I don't
Mm-hmm.
have to stress about anything else. I have some other artists that are coming up as well. So they're like them. I have to really kind of help out more, make sure they're doing right, studio time and everything like that. But yeah, Big Clutch is good. We already set up the studio already. We already have a producer, so she doesn't really have to go around trying to find out studio time producers. We already have that already. We locked that in already. So now we just all she has to do is just create. That's it. Just keep creating more music and just keep sharpening up her tools.
Okay, awesome. So can you tell us a little bit about the other artists as well? Just mention maybe their names a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. So we have Raf Keto, and he's based out of Nigeria. And sorry, 1 second. Step this microphone back in.
That's okay.
So he's based out of Nigeria. So he was on the song Rendezvous with Big Clutch.
Oh,
Nice.
okay. All
So yeah, that's
right.
Raf Keto. So yeah, he's doing well as well. He's yeah, coming out of Nigeria, born in Ghana. So yeah, he's just like I said, I gotta tell Big Clutch, just keep making music.
Yeah.
Um, but with music, it's like you definitely want to keep making music, being creative, but then you also have, personal problems as well. So I try to iron out their personal problems as much as possible, so
Mm-hmm.
they're able to have a better space and they can still create music and everything. So he's doing well. I have a hip hop artist out in Pennsylvania. His name is C Loading, and he's doing
Nice.
very well too as well. So he's doing hip hop. I have another artist named Queasy Two Time, and he's out in Pennsylvania too as well, and he's doing well. I have a R&B artist out in Toronto, and she's just starting to get better and better. So we tell her to keep making more music. Same thing, keep sharpening up. And her name is Nika D. So yeah, there's a whole bunch of other ones that are just coming up as well. So yeah, there's a
Nice.
lot. There's a lot.
Got a full roster there.
Thank you.
Yeah, so you got your hands full. Like, how do you do it? Like, how do you
Yeah,
do it?
I
Like,
was going to
what
ask that
keeps you?
question. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
like
just I just have to always like my scheduling plan is crazy. Like, I have books and books and books. Like I'll try to schedule things 3 months in advance, but then things happen, so I gotta scratch that out and kind of adjust. So the biggest thing I would say is just always be ready to pivot at any given time, and always be willing to adjust to any problems that happen. And
mm-hmm.
I like the challenge, so yeah, it drives me. It drives me all the time.
I
And
love that.
also like when they make a track and then they're satisfied with it and they love it and they put it out on Spotify or Apple Music and they see 1,000 people listen to it and 2,000 people, that just boosted their confidence even more. And I love the smiles on their faces and
Mm-hmm.
they just want to keep going and going. So I love the beginning. I love the hard work. I love when it doesn't turn out well and I got to be creative, kind of figure out, okay, how we got to fix this, how we got to fix that. But I love it all because first is the idea, and then the idea it's the beats after that, the instrumental. Then after the instrumental, you got to find studio. Then you got to find someone to mix and master it. And then when you're done that, you have to go to the cover art. So I gotta find graphic artists
Oh
to do the
boy.
cover art as well. And then when the cover art's done, they say, okay, we do a little promo, then it comes to music videos. And so, yeah, it's good. I love all the steps it takes to make a complete song.
That's amazing.
Yeah, but it's a
TYB?
a lot of hard work because if you if you take it talk in terms of the athletics like
Yeah,
this,
yeah,
and then you have a stable of artists out there, and then trying to balance it out and stuff. I think it's a lot of it's a lot of work. It's a
definitely,
lot of work.
definitely.
Yeah. And my question to you is, when did the AP movement start? Because it seems you're doing great. Big Clutch, I love Big Clutch. The music and
So
stuff like that.
talented.
Oh yes, so talented.
Definitely. Yeah,
And the
definitely,
last
definitely she
time
is.
she was here, and you know what? And I checked her over, and then you know what? Afro charts and all those kind of stuff. I said, "Holy moly, she is doing great,
Yeah, she is. She is. Many times she was
amazing."
number one on the charts, though, or even top
Yes,
10. So yeah, she's doing very well.
Nice.
yes. So how did
Definitely.
AP movement? How did you put it together? Because you know what?
So it was more of so I was always around music for a while. I used to do mixing and mastering before.
Mm-hmm.
It's very tedious, so I had to definitely fall out of that category. But I used to love doing mix and mastering and just loving the art of it all, just the starting of something and then becoming something else and then becoming actually something that you can listen to. And then so I had a lot of artists around me, right? But they didn't really have any label or anything to go to that's going to really take care of them and their
Mm-hmm.
needs, and also to give them time too, because some labels they kind of just want to rush artists like
Yeah.
every day, like where's your
Mhm.
song, where's this and that. So I don't like to rush them. I tell them take your time, and when you are in that mode, try to complete it. So if you can complete one or two songs, but really complete the first one or the second one, then I'm happy with that. And then when you go back to the studio, complete the third song and the fourth and the fifth, right? So my strategy is to give them time, give them breaks as well. So I was like, you know what? I need to form a record label and have
Mhm.
everybody under me, and then therefore they can just do whatever they got to do, and I'll take care of the top end. So
Mm.
the AP movement was formed, and AP stands for apply pressure. When needed,
Ah.
though, not all the
Nice.
time, but when needed. So apply pressure. It was formed, I would say, about 5 years ago.
Oh,
Yeah, about 5 years ago. Yeah, it was formed, and ever since we've been good. We've been running. Been doing well.
yeah, yeah. In our industry, yes, if you are able to put out one artist there who's doing great, it opens a lot of doors.
Yeah.
And then
Definitely,
you say,
definitely.
who is behind that person? Who's really behind that person? And then when they look around, you see, people may not understand that. You see, before an artist can become who he is or who she is, there's got to be somebody behind. But most of the time, you guys are not recognized.
Definitely, I agree. I agree, but I'm not really in it to be recognized more. I just want to help them and
Hmm.
help them achieve their goals as many times over as I can.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely,
yeah,
definitely.
yeah. The recognition meaning are like the artist is there, and
Yeah, yeah,
they
yeah.
don't know who has been able to put it there because most of the time it's the front person
Hmm.
who gets the accolade. But then
Exactly.
you may have done so much to put that person where that person is. And then even going back into that, I have a follow up question for you. Have you had any artists, like with the stable of artists that you have you had any artist who is very problematic, no names, and then you said, you said, you know what, you know, you go left, the person goes right. you know the
Yeah,
talent in
yeah,
that
yeah.
person because over time people become swollen headed when you tell them, you know what, you're good and stuff like, stuff, and they try not to conform to where you want to push that person to. Have you had an artist like that?
Yeah, definitely, definitely,
Mm-hmm.
definitely. Yeah, I had a lot. I had to think about like 12 artists at one time. So yeah, definitely.
Wow.
Yeah, because like, and they're formed from all over the world, right? So I definitely have artists that they start off good, really good, and I'll tell them, okay, you know what, we take this path, so continue to do what you're doing, and they're like, no, 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 I got it
Mm-hmm.
from here, I got it from here, and then 2, 3 years later, you don't even hear anything else, like everything just stops, and then they'll say, oh, it's personal, or it's this, and now I'm going through this. But I'm saying, man, if you're still with me, that would have helped you organize, because a lot of things like it's not really money. It's just listening, just listening to their problems, listening to their family problems, just listening. And then when I listen to their problems, then I'll give them suggestions of, how to go about it. Because maybe you don't have to be angry at this person, or, maybe you talk to your mom a better way, or just like anything, I just try to help solve the problem. So the listening part is what they kind of overlook a lot. Right. And then the money's there. So the money will definitely help out. But if you're not focused and every single time you receive money to go do songs and you're not doing it, then I see it as a problem. So
Mhm.
I stop because my energy can't be placed in 12 things at once, right? So I definitely have to put the energy in where people that want it, right? So
Mhm.
I definitely come across a couple of those for sure. For
Oh,
sure, for sure. But my door's always open. Like once, they're like, you know what, I'm ready, ready to focus down, then I definitely let people back in for sure. I don't close the door all the way unless you do something outrageous, and I gotta kind of separate myself. But besides that, no, I keep it good, keep it open for sure.
yeah, yeah. I mean, most of the time, too, you see that those people become great if they listen,
Hmm.
Mhm.
because
Hmm.
you see some talent in them, and they
Hmm.
say, okay, should I cut this person loose? But if I cut that person loose, that person may turn out to be somebody who's good. So at least if I understand you, you balance it out and you say, no, no, let's do it that way. And then if they listen, fine. If they don't, you just leave them, and then they come. So I think that could be the success that you've had during this
Yeah, definitely,
team.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Because when I talk to them, it's not like, oh, you gotta listen to me 95% of the time. Like I try to really break it down 50-50. I tell them what I think the plan should be. They'll tell me what they think as well, and then we'll form it together. So
Okay.
it's not really like, oh, you gotta listen to me or else. I
Mm-hmm.
definitely try to take their input as much as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the inputs are kind of,
Yeah.
out there for sure, but I definitely try to scale it back and be realistic, right? Like you're not gonna have 10 music videos in one year, right? The
Mm.
the, the budget for that is ridiculous, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but I definitely tell them like, you know what, you work hard, we keep on pressing, then you can have three, right? Depending on how you move, maybe three, maybe 4 or 5. So
Mm-hmm.
it just depends.
Yeah. 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 Petra.
Okay, awesome. So I wanted to ask you two questions. So what is it that you look for in an artist before you decide to manage them? Like what characteristics is it that stand out to you that make you say, "Okay, that's the artist
Hmm. Hmm.
I want
Hmm.
to be a part of the AP movement."
I would say what stands out is um, just the music, really, like the drive to continue to make music. Like a lot of the artists that I work with, before I said, you know what, let's talk about this, let's take it to the next step. They have
Mm-hmm.
released like 20, 30, 40, like they just release song after song. So I'm like, you know what, you have it, but and then make I would say maybe out of 10 songs, maybe one is really, really good.
Good. Yeah.
So I tell
Mm,
him,
yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
I tell him, you know what, just slow down. Let's make 5 quality songs, right? So you're
Nice.
not kind of going in there and wasting your time. So any artist that I've seen, you really have to love making music because to
Yeah.
go in the studio, it's hard, right? Like it's a mental thing as well. Like you can
Mm-hmm.
have everything written down at home, but when you get in front of that mic, it's like everything shuts down, right? Anxiety raises up like 10,000%, right? So,
Mhm.
so I look for that. I look for, are they posed? Are they ready to go? Are they focused? Are they sharp? So I look at everything. I look at how they perform in the booth. I look at what they do before that, after that. Are they excited after? Or because sometimes you'll have a bad studio session,
Mm,
and that could really break a couple artists where they're like, you know what, maybe it's not for me. But I look
mm,
for the ones that might have a bad studio session. We'll talk about it, and they go back in, and they have three or four great ones, and then they may
mhm.
have a fifth bad one, and then we'll just change it, and then it'll stretch even longer, and have more great ones and bad ones. Cause I tell them, not every session is going to turn out great. It
Yeah.
kind of depends on how you feel and what's going around you at the time when you're going in.
Mhm.
So I definitely look for the ones that can withstand the pressure, for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely,
When you
definitely.
apply it, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, AP.
There
Apply
you
pressure.
go. There you go. Apply pressure. That's it.
That's right.
You
You
got
got
you got
it.
to know how to handle the pressure, for sure.
Exactly.
Definitely, definitely.
Amazing. Also, yeah, so I wanted to ask you as well because I love how you're just so passionate to want to really be a good guide and really help these artists. What is it within inside you as a person that makes you want to help them?
Well, what is it inside of me? I just love great outcomes. Like training hard and winning is like the best feeling for me. Yeah, it can't be beat. It's absolutely the best feeling. Like when I'm training with the athlete, and I'm training with George, and we're training every day, and then we're breaking, and then injuries happen, and when you cross that finish line, you're first. Everything goes out the window, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because he's blind, so you'll have certain problems that regular people don't really have, right? Like bumping into stuff and hurting his leg, or maybe bump his
Wow.
head sometimes, or like
Mm,
all these things happen, and he's always thinking about it, right? And
wow.
when he's running, it's pitch black because
Mm.
he has to put a blindfold over his eyes, right?
Oh my
Ooh.
gosh.
Um,
Wow.
yeah, these officials don't play. They want to make sure you are 100% blind. So they
Oh.
so they they
Wow.
put that blindfold over his eyes, and it's dark, and he has to rely on me 110%.
Mm,
And I tried it one time in practice. I tried to put the blindfold on myself and try to run. I
yeah.
was running all over the place, left, right. Like,
Wow.
yeah, it's definitely hard. Like I took 10 steps, and I was terrified because it was so black. I didn't know where I was going. So I know what he's feeling, not
Mm-hmm.
entirely, but just a little bit. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's amazing. It's amazing. Yeah. So I just love the fight, and I just love the victory. That's it. And I love it on repeat.
Yeah, yeah. I can see that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely, definitely.
And before I
100%.
pass it on to TYB, I want to ask you, so what
Go
do
ahead.
you think you've learned or have you grown as a person from these experiences of being a running guide and also
Mhm.
managing these artists? Because although the different industry, they tend to have very similar, like the correlation between them is very similar, you know? So what is
Yeah,
it
no, definitely,
you
definitely.
learned from both of those paths?
I learned to be more patient. Definitely,
Mhm.
definitely. I used to be more excited with less patience. So I learned not to
Yes.
procrastinate more. Definitely,
Yeah.
to procrastinate less.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I learned organization because I would do everything on the fly, and then
Mm,
eventually just get too bundled up, and it'd be a knot full of stuff that I have to do, and I'm like frustrated to figure out what should I do next. I definitely learned to organize and prioritize things too as well. Not everything can be done at the same time. So I
yeah.
noticed that I got to space things out too as well.
Mm-hmm.
And when it comes to the athletic part, I appreciate life more. Like I understand, like, God gave me these eyes and I could see, and
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
better appreciate them for sure. Thank God every day for it, because
Yeah.
his story alone, like, he was in Ghana, and he seemed perfectly fine, like he was fine, and he got sick, and a doctor in Ghana gave him the wrong prescription,
Oh my
and
God.
due to that, it detached the retina, and he went through a whole spiral of issues, and that's why he's blind. So it
Wow.
wasn't that he was born with it; it was just the wrong medication in
Wow.
his home country. Yeah. So yeah,
Yes.
and I asked him, like, hey, you didn't try to see what happened with the doctors or anything? He goes, no, in Ghana it's not like that. He's like, It's not like Canada where you can just say, "Oh, we're gonna sue this person, do this."
Mm.
He said it's not like that over there. It's a lot of hurdles. So
Wow.
I'm just like, ah, man, it's unfortunate. But when it happened, they sent him over here to sick kids
Mm-hmm.
in Toronto, and then they try to do surgery and try to fix him as best as possible. And but through that, he ended up staying down in Canada, right? And got his
Yeah.
citizenship and went to school down here and got help.
That's
How to read Braille and how to walk with a cane and yeah.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
that was the bright side. But yeah, it's very unfortunate. And every Paralympic athlete has their stories, and I've learned that.
Wow.
So if you're in a wheelchair or you have cerebral palsy or yeah, you're blind, or low vision, they call it. So I noticed that everybody has their own stories and every story is different. And every story will touch you differently.
Yeah.
So yeah. And
Mm.
and George, like I look up to him, even though you might look up to me, I look up to him because he don't let nothing stop him. Like he
Mm.
produces too as well.
Oh wow.
And yeah, he's amazing. He produces as well. Um, he also is a DJ. Goes by GQ Sounds, and he's a DJ. I went to plenty of clubs, and he DJs for like hundreds of people, and
Wow.
he just learns the controllers by touch and feel, and he
Wow.
will just sync music together. And yeah, so all this stuff he's doing, I'm just like, man, I have to be your guy. Like I there's no choice. I got no choice. You're doing all this amazing things. Like man, I have to do it. Like so, yeah, he's
Wow.
amazing. He's top notch for sure. Definitely,
Wow.
That's
definitely.
amazing.
Yeah,
Thank you.
This is a very great story that man, man. Yeah, Paris. My question to you is: last week we had an amazing artist. It's an R&B artist, Temi, right? Yeah, he was here. He's an amazing, great voice. You know, he was born in Nigeria, grew up in
nice,
Canada,
nice.
and his his is to sing R&B, but he had to go to the United States to
Mm,
to sign deals with some of the big guys in the industry and stuff like that. But then the question was, why? I mean, as a manager who has a stable of artists,
yeah,
how do you see R&B in Canada? Because it feels like it's non-existent. And in your stable, do you have R&B artists?
yeah,
And
I do. Yeah,
how do you think, and what do you think can help revolutionize R&B to be accepted by Canadians? It's non-existent. So his name is
yeah,
Temi.
you're
So he's born in Nigeria. So everybody was, oh yeah, Temi. So he's going to sing Afrobeat, but he is not an Afrobeat musician. He's
yeah,
an R&B
R&B.
artist.
Nice,
How do you see
nice.
this?
Well, whew, you're right. It's because a lot of the R&B artists, like big ones, right? They'll sing like they'll make a couple tracks down here and they'll fly down south and
Mm-hmm.
they'll fly straight down to the states, right? And then they'll explode there, right? I think that these artists need to come back up to Canada and do features with new up and coming R&B artists, right? And I think that will just shine some light. And then they would have to, for me personally, they would have to mix it up. So I would say the R&B artist will have to do features with an Afrobeat artist or do
Mm-hmm.
features with a reggae artist. Like do something that people are not really used to hearing,
Mm-hmm.
and then try to shine light by being super creative and outside the box. Because that's the only way you're gonna shine light. Because some of these genres are just getting drowned out now, right? So
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
it's either pop, top 40, rap would hip hop will always be there, and country music is whew, that's huge, definitely
It
huge
is.
down in the states too as well.
It is.
Um, Gospel music is big; it's a big one too as well, and Afrobeats huge. Like they're just taking over everything, right? So you don't hear R&B no more. R&B is like, where's R&B gonna fit, right? So you definitely have to be creative with the top five genres that are currently popular right now, and definitely mix. Because I believe when you mix, then you'll grab different audiences,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah,
think
from
yeah,
yeah.
I think definitely that would help for sure, definitely.
Yeah. I mean, you get from both sides, like Grant Morgan, for instance. Listen to his music. I listened to his voice when he was on the when we had him as a special guest. We asked
Hmm.
him about that, and he was trying to say that if you if you talk in terms of country music,
Yeah,
it's black music, it's African music. But it seems
definitely.
we let it go, and then it's been claimed. But then he's
Mhm.
going back to get it. So he's mixed it up, just like you're saying, with reggae music,
Mhm.
and it's working.
Whew.
And it's working. And today, or was it yesterday? I read something about the fact that he's also collaborating with Shatawale,
Whoa.
Stoneboy,
Whoa. Woof.
Stoneboy, a lot of other artists, and they are going to be going on a tour.
Beautiful.
You
Beautiful.
see,
Beautiful.
that mix is there. So I think that should be the way forward, so that we don't lose any of the genres because they belong to us,
Yeah.
Yeah, every
and
last
we
one of them.
that's right, and we have to guard and guide them. So I think yeah, I think I see where you come from. Collaboration should be the essence of the word.
Yes.
Yes.
There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, definitely. 110%.
Yeah.
Definitely,
Yeah.
definitely. Collaboration is key.
Mhm.
Definitely is key. 'Cause it just pulls two different crowds together, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
because the first
100%.
time I got we got a big largest track, the first track that the one that you gave to us, and I was listening to it. I could feel Afrobeat in it, and I could feel so many different things in it, and it attracted me. And she hasn't changed. Even the latest track that you sent to us, we've been playing it. We've been playing
Yeah.
it
Can't
for over.
use.
That's right. For
I
over,
love that song.
I love it. For over 2 weeks now, we've been more than 2 weeks. We've playlisted it and we've been playing it. It's so great. So that kind of we are not in the era where you say, okay, that person sings Afrobeat and then that's it. Even Afrobeat is changing. Afrobeat is changing as fast as it is. So I think collaboration is the essence of the word right now. Petra.
Yeah, most definitely. I would totally agree. Like, no man is an island, famous words. So it's like, in order for us to move forward, especially musically, those who are part of quote unquote the top successful genres of today have to collaborate with other genres, like Afrobeat with the reggae, like reggae with country, hip hop with R&B. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have to continue to do those collaborations to bring those forward. You can't let them die. Because at one point in time they held a precedence. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So if we
Definitely.
let them go, then we're gonna look back and talk about shoulda, coulda, wouldas. Because I'm from the UK, so I grew up with UK garage, grime, funky house, jungle, drum and bass. And when I first came to Canada, I did a show on 105.5 FM where I played UK garage, grime, and funky house. But a lot of those genres, like UK garage, that's gone now. That time period's gone. Funky house is kind of there, but it's not the same as it used to be. Garage music is no more. Now it's called UK hip hop. So it's the fact that,
Wow.
yeah, so the fact that, like, and it's like, especially with garage music, you can't even revive garage music from what it was in the late 90s, early 2000s, because there's nobody making those kinds of sounds anymore. So I'm a reggae artist now in Toronto, and I feel the same thing is happening with R&B in Toronto. I feel like reggae is just hanging on by a thread. And me and TYB were talking about the fact that Billboard, they took off the reggae chart and replaced it with,
Mm-hmm.
and the
Yeah.
question is, why can't you have both? Why is it one or the,
Yeah.
so we do have to take a stand, and we have to continue to collaborate and support each genre, because one day you look and reggae will be no more, R&B
Wow.
more, you know so
Definitely.
your
Definitely.
thoughts on that, Paris?
No, I agree. I'm stunned. I didn't know
Mhm.
they did that. I
Yeah.
thought reggae and then Afro charts was an addition they added to the
No.
charts. I didn't know they took out reggae.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they
That
did.
is wow.
I
That's
know.
amazing.
That's what I call divide and rule.
Mm. Yeah, definitely. Wow.
It's the same music, African music,
I
divide and
know.
rule. You pit one against the other, right?
Hmm.
Hmm.
But it hasn't worked.
Wow,
Now,
that's
when they are going
crazy.
on tours, You see Coffee there, you see Burner Boy, you
Mhm.
see that, you see
Exactly.
that, you see that. It doesn't work. It will not work. Back in the day,
Mm-hmm.
it will work, but we live in a different world right now,
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
where you know what we've decided that this is the this is the course that we are going to be taking, and
Mhm.
it is there. Whatever anybody thinks, that's their problem. But so far as we are concerned, we are on a roll.
Mm-hmm.
See, hitherto we didn't have the platforms to exercise ourselves. I mean, so Love Day, for instance, we did it out of the love for the music and the talk programs that we feel we have to educate the masses. Because you see, if you control the mic, you control the internet, you control everything. And as a people, we don't have the infrastructure to go out there and say, okay, this is what it is. Because we have so many secret weapons out there. Every other artist out there is the next potential superstar. But the fact of the matter is that they don't have what it takes. No, they don't have the opportunities available to them because if they come out with a track, where are they going to play it? Is it a payola? Is this
Mm.
what? And stuff like that. So these are some of the things that we we are trying as much as possible to avoid because we get so many hundreds of tracks from every corner of the globe. And so far as within is within our sphere, not chamber music, you know. So far as it's something that we feel is got to be played clean and stuff like that. Yes, we are giving voice to the voiceless,
Mm-hmm.
Definitely
right?
agree.
That's how we should be able to move as a people. But
Mhm.
then my question, maybe last question, how do you see AP movement within the next 5 years? And after that, tell the listeners out there how they can reach AP movement.
Okay, so AP Move in the next 5 years. Definitely want to be charting on the Billboard Top 100, top even top 200. Um, Definitely want to keep creating more of a AP Movement mixtape and album. So definitely want to have more albums, for like more label albums. I definitely want each and every artist to have their own few, like by 5 years, at least two albums from each artist or three. Um, and just more music, more eyes on most of the artists, more promotion, and more stage shows as well, and just a bigger brand. I wanted to not only stay in Canada, but I wanted to go all over the world and back. And you can definitely reach us at the AP Movement, on Instagram. We're on Twitter, YouTube, and we're definitely on all the platforms as well: Spotify, Apple Music, Boomplay, Amazon, on everything.
Wow, wow. Petra, take us home.
Most definitely. And I know TYB said, like, is the last question, but I do actually have one more question for you. We
Yeah,
can
go ahead, go ahead.
all day. I wanted just to give some advice. If there's anyone listening out there right now that wanted to follow in your footsteps, what advice would you give them, in relation to becoming a running guide and also to becoming a manager? Like, what gems could you give to them?
I would say you would have to not be afraid to fail. I think that's the one of the most important things that I go by. You can't be afraid to fail. You can't be afraid to make mistakes. And when
Mm,
you do make mistakes, you gotta own the mistakes, right? So if I
yeah.
make a mistake, I'm not gonna just kind of like, hide under the rug. And no, I'd say, you know what, you're right. I made a mistake and that's my fault. And this is how I'm gonna do better. Right.
Hmm.
And then when you're doing better, you just try to continue to do better. And then you might make a mistake again. And if you do so, then you still gotta continue to do better and better and better. And just keep bettering yourself every single time. A little bit counts. It doesn't have to be big leaps and bounds, but as long as you're willing to try and you're willing to transform and evolve, you'll go a long way.
Amazing. Thank you. So amazing words of wisdom. And I just want to say, like, this has been such an amazing interview or slash conversation, as we like to say on Love Bay Radio. And
Conversations.
yes, we call them conversations because
Beautiful.
But I just want to say, like, I've learned so much from you just from this conversation we've had. I think you're an amazing person. I think you are doing some amazing things, helping so many wonderful people. And I didn't know anything about a running guide, you know? So I'm totally inspired by that. I definitely want to look into a lot more. And I just want to say it's been a pleasure to meet you and to have you on the show.
Thank you. Thank you. It was my pleasure. Thank you for having me. Definitely. I appreciate it. This is a great conversation, like you'd say, not an interview. So I love
No.
it. And it definitely was a conversation, right? Definitely. It felt nice. It felt home base. Yeah, it felt real good. Good vibes, good energies.
That's right.
Yeah,
And
thank
this is
you.
your radio station too. Anytime you know that this is you're not a stranger here. So anytime any of your artists want to come, hey, they like somebody will say the floor is yours. And folks, we
Appreciate
come
that.
to the end of another program. Join us again next week. We are going to have a Motown feel to this program. The Debage, remember Debage? Remember Switch? Oh yes, I will leave it at that. We are going to have a Motown feel to this program next week, Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. On behalf of myself, Petra, and then thanking, Harris for, having had a time. He's jet lagged, but he has taken the time, and we respect that. We really, really appreciate your time and coming to join with us today. We hope you come back with any and all of your artists. We expect them to be here. There's no doubt about it. Folks,
For
take care of
sure. For
yourselves
sure.
and each other. Until next week, we'll see you in 7 days. Bye bye.
Bye,
All
lovely
right. Take
people.
care.